With the YieldKing 100A's power on in the idle mode, press Menu Select. Then enter the menu number desired using the alphanumeric keypad. Press Enter Accept to accept the menu. If the selected menu uses the smoker, steamer, and/or the internal probes, you will be prompted to make sure you have prepared for those active operational items. To start the selected menu cook cycle, press the Start-Stop button. W Chips is displayed to ask if you have loaded the wood chip box. You must then press Enter Accept to confirm that you have wood chips in the smoker box. If not, load wood chips, replace wood chip box, and press Enter Accept. Water asks if you have filled the steam water pan. If yes, acknowledge by pressing Enter Accept. If not, load the water in the steam pan and then press Enter Accept. Probe 1 SP is displayed to ask if probe 1 is inserted into your product. If yes, press Enter Accept. If not, insert a probe into the product and plug the probe into the oven and press Enter Accept. Probe 2 SP is displayed to ask if probe 2 is inserted into your product. If yes, press Enter Accept. If not, insert a probe into the product, plug the probe into the oven and press Enter Accept. The selected menu will begin at this point, and the alphanumeric display will indicate which stage is currently in operation. If there is a preheat stage, the YieldKing will sound an audible alarm when the preheat temperature is reached to signal that you should load your product. Load your product, insert the meat probes, and press Start-Stop to advance to stage 1 of the cook cycle. During a preheat cycle, you can move past the preheat and move directly to stage 1 by pressing Start-Stop once. An audible alarm will also sound at the end of the cook cycle, or if meat probes are used in the selected menu, an audible alarm will sound when each of the meat probes reach their set temperature. When the meat probes reach their set temperature, you may pause the menu to unload the product associated with probe 1 by pressing Pause. When you are ready to continue the menu, press Pause again to resume the cook until probe 2 set temperature is reached. An example of a 2-probe cook may be one where you are cooking beef roasts and you want one roast to cook to medium rare and the other to cook to medium. When one roast reaches the medium rare internal temperature, pause the YieldKing, remove the meat probe, unload the product, close the door, and press Pause again to resume the cook cycle. The small red lights on the YieldKing control panel indicate which of the oven functions are currently in operation, and are also used to guide you through programming operations. If your menu calls for a probe and steam, those lights will be on during the operation of those functions in the cook stage. If the light is flashing, the controller is calling for the function in an intermittent fashion. For example, if your menu calls for 15% steam, the light will be on 15% of the time. During programming, the lights will indicate the options available to you and guide you through the programming process. Our Heat Cool feature keeps the oven from overshooting setpoint temperatures due to hot metal and product in the oven interior. When programming Heat Cool, you are setting a range in degrees that the oven will maintain above the setpoint. Hysteresis and deadband are the ranges that controllers use to give you ultimate flexibility and control of your cook in cooldown. Hysteresis is the range above set point temp that the oven is allowed to vary. For example, a hysteresis of 10 degrees means the controller will keep the oven temp between 0 and plus 10 degrees from set point. Deadband is the range around the set point that the oven turns off the heat or the cool down so that the oven can coast to set point and not overshoot. This is used most in a cook with smoke and/or steam, where you may not want the smoke and steam evacuated from the YieldKing. We suggest that you use the Heat Cool feature when cooking proteins that require a more critical control of heat. Products such as roast beef, prime rib, or rack of lamb are perfect candidates for Heat Cool. Other items like smoked pork shoulder or ribs may not need critical control of heat and will benefit by allowing the smoke and steam to stay in the oven. If possible, do not open the door until the cook cycle is complete. If you must open the door, use caution because hot steam may escape and can burn you. Before opening the door, press Pause to pause the cook cycle. Then press the cool down button to allow smoke and steam to escape before opening the door. The cool down mode will run for 10 seconds and then stop. Open the door until it is stopped by the steam safety catch. Wait a few more seconds, then lift the steam safety catch and open the door fully. When you are finished, close the door and push the pause button to resume the cook cycle. The YieldKing digital controller will compensate for the heat lost while the door was open by adding time to your cook cycle. If your menu requires steam, make sure the steam water pan is in place and has water in it. It's recommended that you fill your water pan with 6 quarts of water for short cooks of 1 to 4 hours. For cooks longer than 4 hours, use 10 to 12 quarts of water. Do not operate the YieldKing 100A without the steam pan in place. The YieldKing 100A steam pan must be filled to the proper level with water before cooking. It is also a good idea to put 2 to 4 quarts of water in the drippings catch pan to facilitate easier cleaning.